Do you think you need millions saved to retire comfortably? You actually might be surprised. In today's episode, I'm going to break down for you the retirement magic number and why retirement might actually be more affordable than you think it is. So we're going to go from talk about key financial insights, then we're going to talk about factors that impact your real needs. And I'm here today to show you what it really takes to retire comfortably. And in fact, it might be less than you actually think. Hey, I'm Adam Olson, a CFP with Mutual of Omaha. And my goal with my clients that I work with is to never have you work a day longer than you have to or you want to. So in this video today, I'm going to give you the tools and the resources to help you determine if you can retire. In addition to that, I go in way more depth in my book, The Red Zone Retirement Plan, on a lot of these concepts that I'm going to briefly review with you today. So if you want a copy of the book, just drop me a message, and I'd love to send you out a free copy of the Red Zone Retirement Plan. So let's get started. I'm going to start by saying I don't think that there's a real retirement magic number. And I think it's really an abuse by our industry and a misconception that a lot of people put out there to say that you need X amount of dollars to retire. In fact, everybody's retirement needs vary widely. So if you live on the coast or versus in the Midwest, your income need is going to be significantly different based upon the area that you live in. And so there's three things that really go into what your magic number is going to be: your lifestyle, your geography, and what your expectations from your retirement are. So what do you envision yourself doing? Do you have multiple homes in retirement? Are you traveling? Are you doing foreign vacations in retirement? Where are you living? Are you living in the Northeast or Hawaii? Are you living in a small town in the Midwest? All of those factors can play a huge role into how much you need to have saved for retirement. In fact, everyone's number is different. So let me dig in right now with you and help you determine what that number might be for you. So let's get started. The first thing that I want to get you to understand is what your magic number is. Okay, so there was just a Northwestern Mutual study that came out this year that said you need 1.46 million to retire in 2024. There's a lot more that goes into that, really. What age are you retiring? Where are you retiring to? Let me just give you an example here. So I live in a small town in the Midwest in Nebraska here. And we go out to eat at a local restaurant here that we visit quite often. And for me and our four kids, three of the kids that are eating, actually, of eating age, it costs us around $38 to $40 to go out to eat. Now, if we're traveling to, say, a large metro area and I take the family out to eat, $40 isn't going to even touch that. It's going to be at least $100 for us to go out to eat. Now, if I go to one of the coasts and I do that, it's going to probably be even more than that. And so that's just a little example for you to help understand that really where you live day in and day out and how you're spending your ordinary dollars and just your lifestyle is going to play a huge role, and it could potentially double the income need that you're going to have in retirement depending on where you live. So let me talk now about why retirement might actually be cheaper than you think. So if we can control your lifestyle and your spending and really your healthcare costs as well, that can really help us control and possibly lower the overall amount that you need to save for retirement. You see, if we adjust your expectations, maybe move you to a lower cost area in retirement, maybe a lower cost tax area in retirement, we might be able to lower the overall investment amount that you need. So when we work with clients, we really set boundaries for them on how much they can spend year in, year out comfortably. And then based upon those boundaries that we set, we determine if that's an appropriate number for them to have at that point in time or not. And so I'm going to go through a little bit more in this video about how you can determine what your number is going to get at. But let's just say this too before I move on. If you can get insurance to cover your medical cost, that's an exposure in retirement, and if you can get insurance to cover your long-term care costs that you're exposed to in retirement, that can also help reduce the amount of income or assets, investment assets, that you're going to need for retirement. In addition to that, where you live plays a huge role. In fact, I was looking at some cost of living studies for really nationwide in the United States. And what I found is that really some states are really double the cost. So if we pick a low-cost state in the Midwest versus, say, like California, Hawaii, New York, and New Jersey, the cost of living is actually about half of what it would be in the higher cost states. So that can play a huge role in your retirement. Okay, let's move on here. Let's talk about how we can determine how much you're going to need in retirement. And really, we're going to talk now about determining your retirement needs and your retirement wants. And so big picture here, again, I dig into this in depth in the book, The Red Zone Retirement Plan. And so if you guys want a copy of that, drop me a message. I'll send you a copy at no cost. But we really need to determine how much you need on a monthly basis. What is your income need per month? And we're going to break that down into two parts: what your needs are and what your wants are. Okay? So, some things that affect this. Again, your spending, your lifestyle, and your healthcare costs, those can all affect these things. In addition to that, I'm not doing you justice unless you plan to have these expenses increase over time, right? So you have to plan for inflation inside of your plan. Maybe 3% is a minimum that you're planning for these expenses to go up annually. So plan for inflation. Let's control what you can control. So let's move on and talk about needs, and let's talk about wants. So needs are really your basic living expenses. Think food, shelter, clothing, insurance, medicines, clothes, activities that you do, that you have to do, that you need to do. Those are your needs over here. And let's move on to what your wants are. So your wants are the extra things that you're doing. Your extra travel, your gifts, your toys, your brunches, your little trips that you're doing here and there. Anything that's a not necessity, I break into that wants category. So let's figure out the total annual cost of this for this simple video today. Let's say that total annual cost of your needs and your wants to fund your lifestyle is $100,000 at retirement. Perfect. Okay, now let's move on here. And I want to talk now about the role of assets and income creating your cash flow in retirement. Okay, so from the previous example, we have your needs and your wants. Now let's just say the needs are $60,000. So we had $100,000 total. Let's say our needs are $60,000. When we do planning for clients, I like those needs to be covered by guaranteed sources of income like Social Security, pensions, and annuities. So let's say between Social Security and pensions that you're having $60,000 covered by those guaranteed sources of income. Now we still have to come up with $40,000, right, to fund that lifestyle. So we get those wants covered by variable income sources such as your investments and our rental income. Let's think of it that way. So say you don't have any rental income and it's just investments. You would need about $1 million to generate that $40,000 of income per year. So in this situation, if your income need overall is $100,000, you got $60,000 from Social Security and pensions inside of the household, and you have $1 million generating $40,000 a year of income for those wants, your magic number is $1 million. Now again, in this book, The Red Zone Retirement Plan, it gives you a step-by-step guide on how you can break this down in a little bit more detail for you on your own because everybody's number is different. But big picture, that's what you need to focus on. So let's recalculate this again. Let me go through it in a little bit more detail for you as a review. The first thing that we talked about is understanding your magic number. Remember, everyone is different. Where you live, what your lifestyle is, and what your expectations are can really determine what that magic number is going to be. And then how can we lower that magic number? Well, if we get insurance to cover costs that you could have, whether healthcare costs or nursing home costs, that can lower that number. Adjusting your travel schedule, your lifestyle can also lower that number. In addition to that, moving to a lower cost state or lower tax state can also lower that number. In addition to that, we determined what your needs and your wants are. So the example that I gave, these people, individuals, needed about $100,000 per year. $60,000 was needs, $40,000 was wants. The $60,000 for these particular individuals was covered by pensions and Social Security. The $40,000 of wants was covered from cash flow from the $1 million of investments that they have. And that's just a basic rule of thumb that I'm giving you there for this video. Think about a distribution rate of about 4% from your portfolio. So if you got $1 million, 4% distribution rate would give you $40,000 in spendable income to help fund that retirement lifestyle of your choice. Now, I didn't go into taxes in this video because I don't have enough time to go through it in this video, but you have to have a tax plan and a tax strategy as well to account for those type of costs inside of your retirement plan as well. So if you want more help from this video, I'd encourage you to reach out to a financial advisor in your area, preferably a CFP. In addition to that, you can grab my book, The Red Zone Retirement Plan. It'll give you a lot more tools than I could in this video to help you properly plan and prepare for your retirement. I hope you enjoyed this video today and stay tuned for more. This podcast is for educational purposes only and may include references to concepts that have legal and/or tax implications. It's not to be construed as legal or tax advice. Such information or opinions is subject to change without notice and is not intended to use as an offer or solicitation with respect to the purchase or sale of any security, insurance products, or offer of individual investment advice. Any strategies discussed may not be suitable for everyone. Mutual of Omaha Investor Services, Inc. does not provide legal or tax advice. Please consult with your appropriate professional regarding your personal situation prior to making any financial decisions. Securities and advisory services offered through Mutual of Omaha Investor Services, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Riser Insurance is not affiliated with Mutual of Omaha Investor Services. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Past performance does not guarantee future results. Diversification does not guarantee a profit or protection lost against loss in a declining market. Purchase of life insurance is subject to meeting underwriting requirements. There is no guarantee of an individual will be insured. Annuities are long-term investments designed for retirement purposes. Withdrawals of taxable amounts are subject to income tax, and if taken prior to 59.5, a 10% federal penalty tax may apply. Guarantees are backed by the claims paying ability of the issuer and are subject to their terms and conditions.